Triller. Welcome to the Norm Hyperbolic Podcast. We're here to talk anime, video games, and movies. I am your host, X, also known as Young Morgan Freeman. With me, as always, is my co-host, Lewis.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy, Lewis. It's your friendly reincarnated anime brother from another mother, joining you in this fucking podcast. Yeah, boy.
Yo.
What's up, bro?
What's going on, bro? We waited a lot of episodes for that name.
I know, man. It came in a dream. It finally popped up, so I finally had to say it. I know it had to be crazy and long, so there you go. Hope you guys like that little intro.
Yeah. I mean, I like a lot of energy, bro.
You gotta bring the energy, man. You gotta bring the energy. We're what, like 10 episodes? What is it, the 10?
This is our 11th episode.
You lying. Is it really?
No.
No, it's 10.
It's 10
episode. Okay. Yeah, it's our 10 episode in, bro. We gotta bring in the hype. This is what the listeners want, bro. They want to feel the heat.
The heat, yeah, we're bringing the heat. So, how you been, bro?
I've been good, bro. I've been super excited. I loved our last episodes about the villains. So if you guys haven't heard it yet, you're missing out. So definitely come take a listen. This new episode is definitely going to be pretty dope because it's my two favorite things, sports and anime. And what better way than putting it together? Yeah. So I'm pretty hyped about that.
This is your hip hop episode.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Hip hop anime episode, bro.
I'm definitely excited, bro. How you been?
Good, man. Good. Real good. I've been so you said, checking out the villains episode. What I should have said in that episode was that I was chilling like a villain on some penicillin. And I was going to say it this episode. I mean, I just did, but that's kind of lame.
I know. It's all right, man.
But no, just been chilling, man.
That's good, bro.
I'm excited to talk about sport anime. So this is going to be our sport anime episode. We have an emphasis on Blue Lock with this episode.
Yes.
To kind of keep us focused. But, we're just going to be giving you our thoughts about sport anime. And before we get started with last week's news today, if you're watching this on YouTube, leave a like, subscribe. If you're listening to this on like Spotify, Apple, or Google, or wherever you enjoy your podcast, leave us a 5-star review, and then we'll read it out on the podcast. Yep. Between this episode and last episode, we haven't had new reviews to read.
So something I did Google was that I did make a post on IG basically saying, for our followers to definitely leave a review. We do want to give shout outs, and it's something that we are looking forward to do. But something I did learn was that it takes a while for it to appear on our side when they do write a review. So on Apple Podcasts, I think it says it takes about a week for it actually to pop up. Oh, wow. I know the review that we read, that person that wrote it told me that they had wrote that a while back. And so it was just kind of out of nowhere, it just popped up. So it just takes a while. I don't know if
get your reviews in now so they can be on future episodes.
Definitely, for sure. Listen to X. Put your reviews in now, and we'll definitely shout out you guys. I mean, this podcast is meant for you guys. So
yeah, for sure. Well, we already have a little bit of a following, so I want you guys to be recognized.
Of course.
By us.
True.
Live on this podcast.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead, man. Last week's news today.
Dun, dun.
So first, in the realm of anime. So I have two things. These are kind of small. So, and we have this podcast and we do anime, video games, and movies. So sometimes the anime news kind of sounds like video game news, and the video game news kind of sounds like movie news. But, it's all pretty much an epicenter around what we like in this podcast, which are anime, video games, and movies. So first, Death Note, the musical, is coming to London in fall. Did you see this?
There's a musical?
There's a musical for Death Note.
I have never heard of that, bro. That's news to me.
Yeah.
That's intriguing.
So the one in Japan is straight Japanese.
Okay.
So they're bringing it to London, and it's going to be the first English language production of Death Note, the musical, for 2 nights only this summer. This is from the production team. We are beyond excited to be presenting the first English language production of Death Note, the musical, for 2 nights only this summer. Fans and those we look forward to welcoming into the world of Death Note are in for a musical treat.
That's interesting, man. So they musical, right? So they're singing.
They're singing, yeah. The song. It's just it's just the story of Death Note.
I got to see this.
Interspersed with songs.
I'm gonna YouTube this because I've never heard of this. This is the first time I'm hearing about it.
They have the full musical on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll definitely watch it, man. That sounds very intriguing. I know they have a Naruto.
They do.
I've seen a couple Naruto's singing thing or but not
Not Death Note.
Not Death
You
Note.
didn't think Death Note was very songy?
I didn't. At what point? I don't.
You never was watching Death Note and be like, why aren't they just breaking into
Yeah,
song?
right. That's actually funny. No,
I'm sure they do it nice. I'm sure they do it real.
They probably
elegant.
They put something together, but that's interesting though. So if you guys haven't watched it, definitely take a look at that.
Yeah, like I said, the full thing is on YouTube, but I think that one is in Japanese.
Yeah.
So this is going to be the first English language production of Death Note.
All right, man. So what's next?
Next, Spider-Man, Octopus Girl. This is going to be a Spider-Man manga written by two of the creators from My Hero spinoff manga. So, Spider-Verse is coming out tomorrow. I'm going to go see it. But they're kind of like really trying to big up this multiverse, Spider-Verse, across dimensions thing by introducing a lot of media into these same movies. So I think that's pretty hot right now with like the multiverse.
Are you excited about the Spider-Man
Manga?
No,
the movie?
The movie.
Yeah. Oh, for sure I am. For sure I am. I heard it, because I don't really like to look at reviews and things like that. And I didn't know the first one was going to be as good as it was. I actually wasn't willing to see it. And I was just like, oh, it's Sony. They've been fucking up with Spider-Man, so I'm not really going to see it. And then I saw a trailer at the end of the Venom movie, and then it looked pretty good. And then I saw it, and I was not ready for how good that movie was.
It is good, man. It is good. Sony did a really good job at it.
Yeah, no,
and it feels simple. Like it doesn't feel over complex. Does that make sense?
There's a lot of layers to that movie, with also staying true to Spider-Man. With I guess remaining relatively simple.
I like the main character, Miles Morales. I just like the take that they did with him. Like it wasn't like they didn't make him feel like too dramatic. They just made him feel like he's just a regular high school boy it's
like Peter Parker.
I know, a regular high school boy just trying to, understand where he falls in the world. And then he gets bit by a spider, a multiverse spider.
Right.
And then he gets these, powers. And then he has to discover how to work them. And then he gets a mentor, but not really a mentor. So I just like the simplicity of it. I like the drawing, like the whole kind of like 3D, kind of like retro effect to it. You know what I mean? I did like that. So something about that like really captivated me. And I just like the fact that Miles Morales is Hispanic too. Yeah. And they incorporate a little bit that into it.
He's like that in the comics. They got all that from the comics.
I know. But I'm just saying like that's something that I do like about like that Spider-Man version.
Yeah. Well, so they have a new one. So Spider-Man Octopus Girl. It was announced by Hideyuka. So every time we do these episodes, I'm so scared of like butchering all these names. And doing research for these episodes, I have like really engulfed in like Japanese media as far as like, not like anime. I mean like the way they market their stuff and, the creators and all these studio houses.
Yeah.
So let me give this guy Hideyuki.
Try your best, bro.
Furuhashi.
Sound it up.
Yes. And Benton Court.
Yeah, add the accent, bro.
No, I can't.
Just funny.
I cannot.
There's a lot of names that we're gonna like say, especially the main
I'm gonna do my best.
Name, but we're gonna do our best to give it the justice. Yeah,
you're the creator of these,
We're gonna do our best to like say these Japanese names.
I got it. So Hideyuki Furuhashi and Benton Court, the two creators of the spinoff My Hero Academia Vigilantes. Have you seen it?
No, not the Vigilante. I've heard of the manga.
Yeah, it's a manga.
It's a manga, but there's no like animation.
There might be an animation on it, but usually a lot of with anime they just do it off the manga, which is I think why anime is so great.
Yeah,
because the manga is just so great. So it's the pair that are overseeing the superhero isekai title ahead of the Spider-Man's new movie. So this manga tie-in is just trying to create hype for the movie. So this manga ties in with the movie. Mm-hmm. It's Octopus Girl. According to reports, Spider-Man Octopus Girl is slated to drop on June 20th, and the manga will follow Dr. Octopus as he finds himself thrown into an isekai trope. So after being killed in battle, the doctor wakes up in a new life as a young girl, Octopus Girl, and will have a fair share of run-ins with Spider-Man from here and there. So in the comics, they have it where, this is a spoiler for the comics, where Spider-Man and Dr. Octopus switch bodies. And it's the superior Spider-Man. So they're kind of just doing this, but just making him like a high school or middle school girl.
Well, that's one thing I love about comic books is like
It's just so off the wall, and you can just
there's so many paths that they can take, and it's
because you can just draw anything.
Anything can happen in the universe of Marvel or any type of comic book.
Yeah. So that's all I got for anime. Next, in the realm of video games.
What we got?
So I have 2 bits of news here, but then I only put 2 because one kind of sounds like a rumor, and then I wanted something like legit that we can, keep in the episode. This way, if it turns out that this is not the case, we can edit this part out of the podcast.
Okay.
That's a joke. We're not, we don't do that.
Good one, bro. Good one.
So there was a rumor that Megan Fox and Travis Scott are going to be in the new Mortal Kombat 1 game. So they didn't say in what capacity.
Did you see the post that I put on our IG of they have Ice Spice in Street Fighter?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Somebody did a custom creator. And
so it's like that? Like
No. This is like a legit. Yeah.
Okay,
legit.
okay.
This is not like, create a character. This is like legit Megan Fox and Travis Scott.
I can see Travis Scott, but Megan Fox?
So there's a lot of speculation. So do you know who Jean-Claude Van Damme is?
No.
He's an actor. So he's an actor who played Guile in the live action Street Fighter 2 movie.
I think I've heard of that name. I've heard it from
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Jean-Claude, that sounds like I've heard his name.
They talk about it in Boondocks. He's just an action hero from like the 80s and the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So he was the inspiration for Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
So when they did, because that's kind of how he plays. He's like this white guy, but he does kung fu, and he's like one of the first, to do that kind of thing in like Western media or movies.
Okay.
So he is going to be in the video game for sure. He's going to be a costume or like a skin or whatever for Johnny Cage.
Okay.
So the Mortal Kombat is always like putting movie people in their video games. Like they have Arnold Schwarzenegger for Terminator. They have Kratos is a video game, but like what is this guy?
Didn't they also do it with like horror films? Didn't it have
right.
Freddy,
right?
Jason, Freddy Cougar. Sorry, I said that. Freddy, Jason, and Leatherface. I think
Leatherface too, maybe. But yeah, so they're always putting people in their games. So for Jean-Claude Van Damme, kind of makes sense. But there was this podcast it's a PlayStation podcast, who the host, he said one of his informants or one of his friends or whatever, who told him about the Jean-Claude Van Damme before it was announced, also told him that Travis Scott and Megan Fox were going to be in it. So going off of how they did Jean-Claude Van Damme, they could be like skins.
I see Travis Scott
as like a skin.
Yeah, just because Travis Scott, he's in
Fortnite.
Yeah. But Megan Fox?
She could be Katana or...
I just don't know, like, why, out of all the people, Megan Fox.
Well, they had Ronda Rousey as Sonya in one of the video games.
Oh, okay. Well, I still can't see it. But
you can't see it?
I'm not to say that I'm not a big Megan Fox fan.
Okay.
I am, but...
You don't think she could play, a character from Mortal Kombat in a movie?
She could.
So what's the difference? Yeah. So anyway, so we have that. So yeah, so could be skins. They could just be in the commercial for Mortal Kombat.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like how when Jonah Hill was in the commercial for Modern Warfare 3 and Kobe Bryant was in the commercial for Black Ops 1.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's kind of like a game of telephone. So you never really know what to believe. So I have that. And then I guess the leak for the DLC characters came out. So this is like legit news.
Okay.
So Amazon Italy mentioned that they were going to have a combat pack with 6 playable characters for the new Mortal Kombat game, Mortal Kombat 1. So the first group of DLC characters is going to be Quan Chi, Omni-Man from Invincible,
mm-hmm.
Ermac, Peacemaker from Peacemaker,
yeah.
or Suicide Squad, Takeda, which is just another character that they had in like maybe the last one or the one before, and Homelander.
The Homelander
from The Boys.
The Boys. Wow, that's actually pretty dope,
right?
Yeah. No, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. If for viewers of the podcast in the video version, I love Mortal Kombat. No,
I love Mortal Kombat too. I love The Boys.
Yeah, so to see it or even Invincible.
Yeah, Omni-Man versus Superman.
Superman's not going to be in it, or maybe he might be in it. Who the hell knows?
Oh wait, no, that's sorry, Mortal Kombat. I'm thinking about like the DC fighting. They should add Omni-Man
to Injustice or something.
To the Injustice, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
No, that's pretty dope. You know what I miss? I'm gonna bring this up because it's a pretty old game. What is that game where they used to have MC fighters back in the PS2?
MC?
Yeah, these have like you could be like Fat Joe.
Def Jam.
Def Jam. Oh man, they should bring that back.
They did when the PS3 came out. They had Def Jam Icon.
Oh yeah, I had that game.
Yeah,
I fucking love Def Jam, man.
Yeah, Def Jam's pretty cool.
I love that, man.
They should just remaster it and bring it back. You know, that'd be pretty dope.
No, I think
I'm sure one of the rappers. What are you gonna do? Def Jam with new rappers?
With new rappers, Little Uzi.
All right, Lil Uzi and Def Jam.
Bam! It's just like some crazy shit like that, man. Then you can have Travis Scott. You can have Kanye West.
Right.
You know what I mean? Kanye West just stomping on niggas.
There was. I remember I had a video game for Wu-Tang Clan. Wu-Tang Clan had a kung fu video game.
Yeah. Just bring back those old games, man. Like Midnight Club.
Midnight Club.
Love that game. Just bring back you don't get games like that no more, man. This is why I always said the PS2 will always be my number one console.
You do always say that.
They just had really good games, bro. All right, man. So
last in the realm of movies. So Michael B. Jordan is working on a Creed anime. He's real big into anime, and you saw Creed 3, right?
I saw Creed 3. Did you like it?
I haven't seen it.
So you never saw it?
I haven't seen it because I haven't seen the second one. But I'm sure I don't need to. Man. But
you'll be fine, man.
I heard that there's a lot of anime reference or a lot of anime visuals in that movie.
Yes, they did make like a lot of anime what did you say?
References.
But there was a post that he had like posted with like a picture of Naruto. It was basically saying like how he was a big fan of Naruto and stuff that.
He's a big fan of Naruto, Dragon Ball. So he's talking about doing a lot of different things with the Creed IP. He wants to do like movies, like spin-off movies, television, and anime. So TMS, they're the company that we talked about maybe like a few episodes ago in the Demon Slayer episode about how they did like major wage increases for their staff.
Yeah.
Like 30% increases and 23% for newcomers.
Yeah, you have brought that up.
So they created an anime short for him to play at the end of Creed 3 in Japan. I was looking everywhere on the internet for this. I cannot find it. Nobody took a video of it, or if they did, they fucking took it down. So hopefully it's out by the time the video version of the podcast comes out, and then I'll be able to include it in that.
The YouTube version?
Yeah, or as soon as we find it, I'm sure we'll just post it to our Instagram and Twitter. So follow us on there to get that.
Just plugging shit in.
Yeah. So I couldn't find it, but this TMS, they made what is it, Dr. Stone, and I listed it in the other episode, but the guy, and this is another creator, Yo Moriyama. Yo Moriyama.
Okay.
So he is somebody who worked with TMS on Megalobox. So he's the one who created this anime short for Creed 3.
That makes sense. The moment you said like Creed anime, the first thing that popped in my mind was Megalobox.
Yeah, right. So Deadline previously reported that Amazon is working on this anime series for the franchise, as well as other potential projects that would expand the boxing universe that Michael B. Jordan's trying to push with this Creed IP. So he's he was talking in an interview about he's young and he has like this IP. I think it's called intellectual property that he can make movies and do things with. So Creed, is in the realm of Rocky, but he has like some sort of ownership because, he directed the last movie. So he's really trying to do big things with this. And I'm just, he's such a big anime fan that I'm glad to see him do an anime out of his movie and then maybe direct other anime movies.
No, that'd be pretty dope.
Yeah. So he also met with the One Punch Man artist, Yusuke Murata. And posted it on his Instagram. So in the video version, I'll post it here, but good things coming for Michael B. Jordan and by default or by extension, all anime fans.
Oh, for sure. Something to look forward to.
Yeah. So that's all I got for last week's news today. Ready for the meat and potatoes?
All right, yeah, I'm ready, bro. I'm ready to dive in. Do we have like a structure for this one?
I do.
So what is it?
So sport anime. So you wouldn't really think that people who watch and like anime would be the same people that like and watch sports. So, but you would be surprised. Like, even Lewis said that he is big on sport and anime. The thing that I attribute to that is that there is just an anime for everything. So
there is. I'm not gonna lie. I really believe there is an anime for everything.
Yeah.
Everything and anything. Anything you could think of.
Sometimes it's a good thing. Sometimes it's a bad thing. Sometimes it means that there's like weird stuff out there. But, if you like magicians, or you like action, or you like cooking, or you like
anything. I mean, anything you can think of.
Really.
There's a little bit of everything for anything. So that's what I'm saying. Like when people that say like, oh, I don't like anime, I'm like, because maybe you just haven't watched
your anime.
Yeah, your anime, the right one. Are you into cooking? Are you into sports? Are you into skateboarding? Are you into magic? Are you into Harry Potter?
Yeah.
Are you into like a mixture of Harry Potter and like Saitama? Like
I doubt it.
There's an anime for that right now. Like there's a little bit of everything. I'm telling you, there's.
Yeah. So without getting too into these other animes, but you do have like your typical genres like action, horror, and comedy. But anime is the king of subgenre.
Yeah.
So you have psychological crime thrillers like Death Note. You have sci-fi westerns, in a la The Mandalorian, but you have that in Cowboy Bebop. Fights between giant boxing robots. You got your Gundams, Evangelion.
Yeah.
Cooking battles between up-and-coming chefs in a culinary school. You get that from Food Wars. So if you like, Iron Chef or not Food Wars, like Cooking Bake Off. There's so many in Netflix, I don't even know. But if you like anything of that
with
stuff,
Gordon Ramsay in it,
anything like that, there's an anime for that.
Yep.
So anime is usually off the wall, but it's also depicted, dedicated subgenres stay true to the world and the established rules in that world. So in the cooking anime, like Food Wars, all the cooking techniques are real.
Yes.
And all the recipes are real. How they display it is intense, like, with the chopping and
the fire and the cooking and adding the spice and
stirring pots, and it takes all their strength
and the aroma, like they make it like into like kind of like a visual of like what the aroma would smell like and stuff like that.
Yeah, all that stuff is exaggerated, but the actual story is true. Whenever they do have a dedicated subgenre.
Yeah.
So like we were talking about like with the Cells at Work, like they try to stay accurate medically, but then just still give you this off the wall anime story. So there's sports anime, and then there is their sports subgenres. So we have basketball, we have volleyball, we have tennis, boxing, skateboarding, baseball, bicycling, swimming, badminton. And then how do you feel about Beyblade? I was looking.
Is that a sport?
I was looking at sport anime, and they're like Beyblade. I was like Beyblade.
How do you feel about
Beyblade is a sport like
racing?
Yu-Gi-Oh is a sport. Racing? Oh,
like car
NASCAR?
racing.
Do they have? I'm sure they do. But
Initial D. Have you heard of Initial D?
Initial D. Tell me.
It's
No.
it's a drifting anime.
Okay.
Where they drift cars. But you consider that a sport?
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's competition.
Sport cars.
Yeah. Okay, so they have that.
Yeah. So before we get into Blue Lock, do you have anything about
So
any
I want to
recommendations?
leave Blue Lock for last.
Okay.
I do have a couple of like worthy sport animes that I want to include. So I'm just gonna like break it down. I don't know if you have your own recommendations.
No, I focused on Blue Lock and
You focus on Blue Lock. All right, perfect.
and how
perfect.
that relates to like other sport animes, because
All right,
I will pepper in like.
So I'm going to begin with Initial D. Okay. So like I told you, Initial D is a drifting anime. Very popular. This is a 1998 anime. It was released in April of 1998 and basically revolves around a high school student. I want to key point this word, high school student.
They're always high school students.
Because I've noticed that like almost all the good animes it revolves about a high school student. So
That's who's watching anime, high school students.
it revolves around a high school student named Takumi Fujiwara.
Why are you so good at naming these names? Why are you so better than me, bro?
I don't know, man. I feel like I'm butchering the name, being honest. So basically, he's he starts off as delivering tofu to a hotel on a mountain called Akina. And he does this every morning. He does this for his dad. So he puts like these crates of tofu, and it's like very watery. So he has to be very careful the way he drives, or he can spill it over.
Right.
And if he spills it over, basically the tofu is messed up and he can't deliver it. Money lost to his dad. You know how it is. Japanese boys disappointing their fathers is a very negative thing. But since he has to go up the mountain, there's a bunch of like curvy roads. So, but he has a timeline when he has to reach, this hotel to deliver the tofu.
30 minutes or less.
Kind of like that in a sense, right? So he learns how to drift. And the car that he uses is very notorious, which is the Toyota AE86 Sprinter Torino.
Really?
And this is the car that he drives to deliver. So while he's in his regular, routes of delivery, he is coming down the mountain. So he delivered it. Now he's heading home. And now that he's heading home, he's able to really practice his drift skills. So in drifting, some of these local street racers that usually drift on the same mountain notice him. And I think it was in episode 1. So a little spoiler alert. It was Monstar RX-7 that ends up seeing the Toyota AE86, and he starts chasing after the Toyota, and the Toyota ends up leaving him in the dust. Now, this guy driving the Monstar RX-7, he is like one of the top local drifters, and he was surprised that this random car he has never seen in his life was able to beat him. Well, so the anime basically focuses on Takumi, and basically he ends up joining a group. He ends up basically competing, challenging rivals, and basically making a name for himself. And he ends up being known as the legendary Akina White Ghost. So he's known as the legendary figure known as the Akina's White Ghost. So basically this anime has about 6 seasons in, and they're called stages. So stage 1 through 6, or stage 1 through 5, and then the finale stage.
Okay. So it's done?
It is done.
Okay.
But I think while I was researching it, it looks like they might want to bring out like a new season of it for 2023. So it's actually pretty exciting. It was one of my favorite like drifting animes. The animation was really good. It was solid. And I loved the character development and stuff like that. So it was pretty good. Second anime that I think maybe most of you have heard of is called, I'm going to butcher the name here, Jowamushi Pedal. And it is a cycling anime.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. So this anime came out back in October 2013. And it had 5 seasons. So this one follows a high school student named Sakamichi Onoda, who's a huge anime fan, but he has a remarkable ability to climb steep slopes just using his city commuter bicycle. When he went to high school, he wanted to join the anime club, but due to an encounter that he had with a very competitive cyclist named Imaisumi, which sparked an interest in road cycling. Motivated with the thoughts of wanting to be friends with Asumi and also becoming like a great worthy cyclist, he ends up joining his high school cycling club. And basically from there, it develops of him, competitions, his own rivals, his character development as of a person who doesn't know anything about cycling to then knowing about cycling, developing new skills, and so on and so on. And I think I've seen a couple episodes of the last season. It's okay. I feel like it was better the first couple of seasons, and then these last ones kind of dried out a little bit. Another anime that's pretty good for you guys to watch also is Eye Shield 21. Have you heard of that one?
I have not.
So Eye Shield 21 is a football anime. And this one came out back in April 2005. It has 145 episodes. So this one follows another high school student. His name is Sena Kaibajakawa. So basically he ends up becoming a star football player at his football team called the Damian Devilbats. So Senna is known for his incredible speed and agility due to his experience as a runner for errands. So during one of his runs, he catches the attention of Yuichi Hiruma, who is the quarterback of the Devilbats. And he ends up recruiting Senna. So the end goal of the anime is for them to reach the prestigious Christmas Bowl high school football championship and win, right? Putting their high school number one. The reason the anime is called Eye Shield 21 is because Senna's jersey number is 21, and he wears a helmet with the visor. So he is called the Eye Shield. And he kind of concealed his face. So in the beginning of the anime, people were like, who is this 21? Because like he's not known. He's never played football in his life. He's just really good at running and he is very agile. And with the visor on, nobody was able to see his face. So it was like a portion in the beginning anime, like, who is this 21? Who is this mysterious runner back? Right. So that's how it kind of starts out. I did watch this, like, I don't know how far I got into it. I don't think I've ever finished it, but it's actually a pretty good football anime.
It's good as far as like football?
Yeah. And it follows like the, statistics of football, the plays, the rules. Yeah. So it works out. Next anime is called Hinomaru Sumo. Have you heard of this one?
Sumo wrestler anime?
Yes, this is a sumo episode. Wow. Yeah, I'm telling you, bro. There's an anime for everything.
Yeah.
So this one is
there's a sumo wrestling show on Netflix, I think I saw.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you remember in WB Luchadores?
Yeah.
You remember that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a luchador anime out there too.
There is, I think so. And I think I know you're talking about they wear like a mask, like different. The one on Netflix, the one you were talking about.
It's live action.
Oh, it's live action?
Yeah.
No.
It's like a drama, but it's about sumo wrestlers.
Oh, interesting. No, I don't think that's probably not the one I'm thinking of. But this one came out in October 2018. Okay. It's only one season, 24 episodes.
I like it when it's like that. Like,
I want to see if we can get this. Okay, so it follows a blank. No,
blank.
Yeah, it follows a blank high school student.
Oh, okay.
High school. I thought that was easy, bro.
What are you talking about? What are you describing him?
So it follows a high school student.
High school student would have been blank.
Oh, well. High school student, blank. So it follows a high school student. His name is Oshio Hinomaru, a short-statured yet incredible strength and determination. His dream is to become a Yokozuna, which is the highest ranked sumo. Okay. He joins his high school called Odashi. And he basically the sumo club at his high school is none too assistant. He is the only member. So this anime basically revolves him training himself and acquiring members into the club. So he like acquires basketball members. He acquires karate or, fighting members. So he's like scouting people, people that can fit the criteria of being a sumo wrestler. So he gets like a bunch of individuals with like different techniques, different abilities into his group. So the end goal for him too is basically to lead his sumo club to victory at the national sumo tournament. And one thing of his downfall is the fact that he's short. So being a sumo wrestler, having height is a very good thing to have, because then that means you can gain more weight, more muscle, right? Because at the end of the day, sumo is mostly like heavy people.
Yeah, moving each other.
So if you're short and stocky, you know what I mean? You're
pick you up and take you out of the room easy.
Exactly. So that was one of his downfalls. But because he had very incredible strength, skills, and he was very dedicated to the sport, he was able to figure out how to use his like short, stocky build to his advantage.
Okay.
All right. And then last one before we jump into Blue Lock is called Haikyuu.
The basketball or
No,
volleyball?
the volleyball one.
Yeah, we always talk about it and we always get the name wrong.
Hike you.
No, we got it wrong until just now.
I hope that's how you say it. So this was a volleyball anime too. This one was came out in April 2014. It has 4 seasons. I don't think it was completed. I don't know if there's going to be a 5th season to like just wrap it up. Mm-hmm. So this story basically begins with a high school student. His name is Hinata. He's also a short statured but possesses exceptional jumping skills or jumping ability.
Right.
And he's inspired by this legendary player in the anime community or on his anime world called Little Giant, which is basically another very popular volleyball player that was almost about his height stature, but he was really good at what he did. Okay. So he ends up going to a high school called Kurosuma High School, where he ends up finding that his rival, Tobio Kaijiyama, is also attending the same high school. So they ended up joining the same volleyball team, and they ended up teaming up. And with his rival's ability to be able to surf the ball, pinpoint location in the air, and then of course Hinata's ability to jump, and it was very unexpected because people see his height and they don't think he's capable of jumping the height that he does,
or the distance,
the distance that he does. So it's like he throws people off because of that, and of course the anime involves him developing as a character, these side characters developing, and his team getting to the nationals and winning, is, your typical high school sport kind of anime.
Yeah.
But those are, I think, very notable animes to watch. So if you guys haven't heard of them, or if you have, let us know, but definitely give them a watch,
Yeah. And we haven't named, like the skateboarding anime. I saw that there was an anime about badminton. There's an anime about basketball.
I thought you were going to bring up Ace. Tennis of Ace.
Oh, Prince of Tennis.
Yeah.
I mean that is a good one. I haven't seen it like properly. I saw it on Toonami like sporadically. So I haven't seen it like how we have streaming now, where you can just watch an episode or a season or a show like A to Z. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen it like that. But yeah, there's that. There's like would you consider maybe chess a sport?
Yeah, that is a sport.
So they have like tennis or Chinese checkers. I'm sure they have a chess. Anime.
You probably do.
There's an anime, like I said, about swimming.
There is.
So
I saw a couple of episodes of it. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
It made me feel kind of weird.
Really? Okay.
Because like it was like a girl. I don't know how to explain it. Like it's not like, I'm not saying swimming is not a man's sport.
Okay, yeah.
If that's not what I'm trying to interpret here.
You won't say that to Michael Phelps, bro?
No, it's a man's sport. I enjoy swimming. I think it's a very cool sport. But the way they animate it is that they make the guys look too
glistening and smooth like a dolphin.
It was love at first sight. He was tall. He was handsome. His trapezius muscles rippled through his shirt.
Granddad, dang, you're making me uncomfortable.
Catcher Freeman was a sexy man.
Yes, and like too, like like if this anime was kind of meant more for girls in a way. Does that make sense?
There's that complaint with like wrestling. Like wrestling is just in spandex leotard and
but depending on the way they draw
guys.
it, like if they just draw like like very competitive. But if they draw it a certain way where like the sweat is, glistering from their skin, and that's how that anime, I can't remember the name of it, but I think you guys might know what I'm talking about. It's like when they get off the water, they got the 6-pack, and then the water's like drizzling, and then they flip the hair.
Is it more about that than the actual swimming?
I think it's actually about the swimming, but that part is incorporated into it.
But even in like Blue Lock, there's like the character who's always naked, or the guy who's always talking about being glamorous.
Yeah, I know, but like. I want to get into Blue Lock because I have.
Okay. All right. So we'll get into Blue Lock. So
go ahead, man. Let's start it off.
Blue Lock. It was written by. There's a lot of names coming out in this episode. Minuyuki Kaneshiro. And illustrated by Yasuki Nomura. In Weekly Shonen starting in August of 2018 with 24 chapters now as of like the end of May. So it's still coming out. season 2 has been announced. The anime season 1 went from October 2002 to March 2023, and with season 2 announced as well as a movie. So it's produced by 8-Bit, which made they made a lot, not no names, but like there's this one anime, I think it's called Shonen Maid. There's another one. It's got like those weird names, like if my favorite artist made it to fame, I would die, or that time I got reincarnated as a slime, which is actually really, really good. That anime is really
Those
good. Those
anime names, man, it's just like my intro name. It's just very out there.
I know, it's just straightforward. Not straightforward.
It is kind of straightforward into like what the anime is going to be about.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right. Yeah, it's supposed to grab you. Like if you're seeing this manga on the shelf, you don't have to say, okay, blue lock. What does that mean? Is it about,
a lock that's blue? Is somebody locked away? Is somebody dressed as a blue? And
it's about a locksmith company. It's a bunch of Smurfs.
Yeah, it's just like a straight kind of like description, but in the title.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. My girlfriend is a nine-tailed fox. My sensei is the dragon or whatever.
Yeah. We're like, I don't know, like two weebs sitting down in this world and watching and talking anime all the time. Podcast.
That was going to be the name of our podcast before we landed on Hyperbolic Podcast.
Yeah, it was like just two weebs sitting down in front of a table recording, speaking on a mic. Podcast.
The podcast, yeah. Podcast,
the podcast.
The podcast, yeah. So right. I wanted to ask you before we get into it, because I remember in the previous episode you were talking about how it gave you goosebumps, bro. So
yes,
describe the goosebumps.
So have you ever watched or like? Okay, so you remember being young and watching Naruto, right?
I'm still young, bro.
Well, younger than you are now. And when Naruto first came out, and I'm talking Naruto, not Naruto Shippuden, but let's just be Naruto. And you saw that first official crazy fight between Naruto and Sasuke at the river, where they have like they have not Orochimaru, they have the first Hokage and Madara, the statues, right? And then they had the ultimate fight there.
Yeah, they always fight there.
And this is like the fight where the first time you actually see like Naruto really use the
Rasengan without the
Rasengan, but no, actually also use the nine-tail chakra.
Right.
And when you're watching this fight and you're just like in a maze, like how crazy the animation is, the fight, the music that they play in the background to build up the intensity, and you just start getting goosebumps. Do you remember that?
I do, yeah, I do remember.
That's how this anime makes me feel.
Epic fights. You see your two characters develop right before your eyes.
Your two characters that you like. Oh, you're either like a huge Sasuke fan, or you're a huge Naruto fan, right. Or you're a huge Hinata fan, or you're a huge Sakura fan, or Kakashi fan. But like, it's just to watch like that ultimate fight.
No one
like
is a huge Sakura fan, bro.
For our true Sakura fans, I'm just saying. But like, when you think about like, oh, how epic would it be if like Naruto and Sasuke finally went at it, like full power.
Right.
You know what I mean? And Sasuke uses his
Chidori.
His Chidori and his like secret mark.
The curse mark?
The curse mark power.
Yeah.
And then Naruto uses his nine-tailed chakra power. You know what I mean? Like, how would that end up? And they actually finally do it. So then you get the goosebumps, like you get to actually see the actual fight. So it's kind of like dope. Or like, get to see like Kakashi versus
Obito.
Oh, that was a good fight. Or Kakashi versus Sasuke's brother. Damn, all these names. Itachi.
Yeah. Or like more a Mike guy. Yeah, so definitely I set you up, but definitely I get the goosebumps too. Like when it's like getting like real intense and they're like losing, they're down 2 points and then they score a point and they get another point down.
Yeah.
So it does make you care about soccer. And even if you don't know soccer, it makes you want to learn about soccer.
It does.
Just off of like the drama, the on the field as well as the off the field drama.
And those goosebumps that I was getting, it wasn't just because like it was anime. Like it's also like when you watch your favorite team. Yeah. And they're down by 10 points or they're down by, whatever sport you're watching them in. And, you feel it. You're empowered by it. You're like, you get emotional when you see your favorite team. Either they're losing, they're winning, they're down by a couple of points. And you're like, you got this. And they get that extra point and they're finally tied. And then it's the last quarter or the last segment or whatever, I got 5-10 minutes left. And then you're like the deciding factor of like, are they going to win or are they going to lose? and you get goosebumps, right?
I legit had that feeling like not long ago, game 6 of the Heat versus the Celtics.
Yeah.
This past Saturday, it was like that. And this is going to be like a time capsule, but the Heat were losing. I got there like at the end and I didn't think they were going to come back. And then one of the players got fouled in the 3-point line and he made the 3 free throws in a row, got up. And then with 3 seconds, the Celtics came back and got the point off the backboard, buzzer beater.
There you go. You see, you get the goosebumps. Yeah. So that's
and
like
imagine,
what this anime did for me.
I'm like in the middle watching Blue Lock too. So I'm like, wow,
it gets you hyped.
Yeah, it got me back into basketball again. So I think what we're kind of talking about is, would you describe it as like also shonen style? So shonen, you know how, we talk about it in previous episodes. It's like, battle.
Yes.
A lot of fights, a lot of 1v1s. So here in Blue Lock, the thing about the soccer anime, because they do break up into like 3-man groups, 2-man groups.
So this is what I love about Blue Lock. And I think this is what differentiates Blue Locks from any other
sport anime.
Not sport anime, but just any other soccer anime. Because I know this is not the only soccer anime.
No, but this one is the one that feels like shonen soccer. Like everybody's got like a special power.
And this is why I like it, because this is not like your regular sport anime where you got your one main character. And
kind of, man.
Go
ahead.
So I know they got their main character, kind of like the one they focus on,
right?
But you have your main character. What's his name? Nagi. So right. you got your main character Nagi. But what's great about this anime is that he doesn't always feel like he's the main character. Does that make sense? And like all the players in this, because it's not like a team where he's in high school, he joins his soccer club, and he's the main character of the team, and like every other player is a supporting character. They're supposed to help him.
It's cutthroat, bro. That's
the thing. What it is cutthroat, because every character is either better than him, equal than him, but none of them are like, oh, we're supporting characters for him. That's not how it feels like. And there was even like a part in this anime or this part of like the anime in an episode where he tries to make somebody a side character, and you can see how pissed he was that you made him a side character. He was like, that's never happening again.
Yeah.
I don't know if you got to that episode yet. It was the one with King.
I got to, I think I did, because I just love this anime, bro. And I get like this with all the shit that I watch. I don't want it to end. I don't want to burn through it. Like I would just feel so.
I know it's only 24 episodes. It's only one season, but there's definitely going to be a second season. And the anime.
I was even watching the additional time at the end. So you get to the end, like you see the credits or whatever, and then they have like these little skits at the end.
Yeah,
they kind of reminded me of like I don't know if you've seen Arrested Development, but at the end of each episode, they were like,
on the next Arrested Development,
they'll tee up something that kind of doesn't even have to do with the next episode. But they do that in Blue Lock, where at the end, they just have like this like fun moment or whatever. And I was just watching all of that just because, I don't know, I don't want it to end. So I think I'm at episode 18 out of 22. I think there's
24.
24?
Yeah.
So I've seen enough to talk about it. But no, it is like how you're saying, like cutthroat, and you do have the main character, but all these other characters don't get lost as far as like, any one of them can be your favorite character. Like this guy is not the Blue Lock, and his name is Yoshi, the main guy.
No, his name is Nagi.
I think Nagi is the other guy.
Nagi. Yeah, you're right. It's not Nagi. It's Yusuke. No, what am I talking about? It's not Yusuke.
It's Yuchi. It's Yuchi.
Yuchi. No, Isagi. Isagi. That's what they know him. Yuchi is his last name, right?
Right.
That's how it works. Like last name first name last. So
yeah.
Isagi. His name is Isagi. So yeah, he's the main character. So
but you have your other characters that they're all strikers, so they all want to be the best. But that's
the point. So let me illustrate like what the anime is about. So the story is set in a world where the Japanese national soccer team has suffered a series of embarrassing defeats, leading to a decline in popularity for the sport in the country. In response, a revolutionary program called Blue Lock is initiated to develop a team of highly skilled strikers who can lead Japan to victory. And then, of course, you have Isagi, who is your protagonist of the show. He's a talented high school soccer player who was scouted and invited to participate in the Blue Lock program. Not just him, of course, various of other players that have very good potential of being the next striker.
Right.
And basically, they're in this kind of like, is it a hexagon shape?
I think so.
So they're like
Or
in
like
this.
a pentagon.
Is it a pentagon or hexagon?
I think there's like five things.
okay.
So hexagon or pentagon.
So they're like in this basically facility, and they're just told like you're in competition with everybody.
Right.
Everybody in your group, they're divided into groups, and I think there's like around like 100 and something players or something like that, but they're all like individual like 10 groups. And like right off the bat on episode 1, it was like cutthroat.
Yeah.
You get in or you get out. And the guy said it like, oh, if you lose here, you will never have a chance to ever play like national.
Yeah, no, the first episode is a good representation of what it is.
So this is like a cutthroat. Like this is a grind.
It's not a spoiler, but in episode 1, they cut somebody from the blue lock, just one person in front of everybody. And the guy's like, what the fuck? How could you cut me just like that? Like off a game of like tag is what it is.
Yeah, it was a game of tag.
So he gets pissed. And then the other guy who beat him, he kind of feels good. He's like, that felt good to kind of like take this guy's dream away. Because once you get cut from blue lock, you're not allowed to play soccer for Japan for the rest of your life.
Yeah, you're exiled.
Right. So it's kind of like it's high stakes because obviously everybody who's there wants to play soccer. So
well, everybody who's there wants to become like a national player.
yeah.
You know, and they're high school students, so they still have potential, and this is their way of like, you know, getting better at it. But like when you say like there's high stakes and there's a lot of you're losing a lot if you lose, especially if you can no longer play for your country. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm assuming that's what every soccer player's end goal is, right?
Yeah.
To make it to the nationals.
Right.
So yeah, it is a very cut dry, and that's what I like about it. It's just not like it's focused on that one character, Izuki. But you're introduced to so many other characters that you feel like, oh, fuck Izuki. I kind of like this one.
I know, and
you know what I
I
mean?
do want to talk about our favorite characters.
Oh, I have my favorite.
So you got their strikers. So some of them are really, really fast. They're just incredibly fast. Some of them are like really, really powerful. So they're good at power shots.
Yes.
Some of them are like really, really good at dribbling. So they just got like mad dribble skills. And then the main guy, Izuki, he's trying to find his unique ability and see how his ability is going to be used to help him climb to the top of being the number one striker.
Being the number one, but also like just to stay in the game. Because there are points where he's almost like disqualified. And he has to figure out every episode he constantly is being pushed to figure out like what is this power that he has, or like what he has to bring to the table that would make him the best striker in Japan, and then hone it. How can he like really tap into it? So his power is what, like a puzzle.
He has like spatial awareness,
visualization, and like just knowing where everything is at, and like thinking like steps ahead of.
Yeah, and he's got like a good shot, like a good straight shot. So without, giving too much away. So there's characters that there's like a drama element to it. That I think really aids the show as far as like, because you have the soccer. So they don't really go too much in the rules.
There's no real like rules. It's more like practice.
So I'm from playing FIFA back in the day. And I only played like a little bit of FIFA. There's like this rule that kept fucking me up in the game called offsides, where you can't pass it to somebody who is behind a player like on a different team. So they don't deal with that rule at all in this. And they kind of like break it down to how soccer used to be, and they build up. So they add rules and add things as the game develops. But like, stuff like corner kicks or foul shots and things like that, red cards, yellow cards, they don't really deal with it too much. But they stay true to the actual game of soccer. So if it's not allowed in soccer, you can't do it. Like you can't hold the ball with your hands. The process
is that these you're not teaching them rules. They should already know these rules.
No, but us as the audience.
No, I get it. Yeah, us as the audience. But that's not like really what they're trying to.
That's not where the drama lies. The drama is not
trying
about
to
the
teach
game.
us about like the games and the rules. I mean, at the end of the day, it kind of reminds me of like, those little mini games that you play in FIFA, like for practice, like where you stand behind like a box and you try to shoot it, around the box kind of thing.
Right.
And that's what they do. Is a lot of it is practice, just to hone into their skills. And then after that, they kind of have like a little mini match at the end. And that's where they prove like, can they move forward to the next phase?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's it's kind of like that. So it's kind of like games in a way, but all these games are supposed to teach them a valuable lesson.
But most of them were just games, like straight game, not mini games. Like
the first episode, it was just like who gets hit with the ball and whoever gets hit
that's the very
last.
first episode. But even like because like I said, I'm only on episode 18, but from episode 2 to 18, it is just a lot of like, it's a 5-man squad, and then they break it down to like a 4-man squad, and then they break it down to a group of 3, and then you grab somebody from the losing team, and
and then they have their point evaluation. There's certain points that you gain,
right,
or your team gains depending on how many goals you make and stuff like that,
right.
Because there was like a part where it was like one of the characters decides to like play smart, and by analyzing how the point system works. And using that to their advantage.
Yeah, just
so instead of them actually like playing the game, he was just playing the system to keep moving forward.
Right.
And then when people found out, they were like pissed at him because you're not here for the right reasons.
Right.
And he's like, well, I don't want to get disqualified, so I'm gonna do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So I see what you're saying.
So all the characters are really unique, fun, and funny. So their personalities are as unique as their abilities. So like I said, with the guy who's really fast, guy who's really strong, they all have like their own little quirky personalities, which makes it not easy for you to get a character that you like, but a lot of the drama is on everybody wants to be the main character of Blue Lock, and they pretty much can be.
Yeah,
like the way that they grow.
The way these characters are developed into this show is amazing, and the longer they're in the show and like the more they get on screen time, the more you start liking these characters. And that's to a point where, that's what I'm saying, like you don't feel like Izagi is the main character at points, because you're like,
you follow his narrative.
You follow his narrative of like him developing,
why.
But then you see other characters, you're like, God damn, like I wish he was the main character, because he's my favorite character right now.
Izagi?
No, not Izagi.
Okay.
He was my favorite at the beginning, but then when they gradually start introducing like better new characters with better techniques and like because they have like and it's a ranking, and Izagi like right off the bat he's not even close to the top 10.
No man, he's the second from the bottom.
Exactly. So he's just like working his way up. Eventually he gets to the top 10 towards the end, but like you meet the number 1 player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you're like,
he's
okay, this man means business. Like, nah, Izagi got a long way to go. You know what I mean? Or even when he meets King, I don't think he's like the top 10, but he's
good though. But so that's what I'm saying. He's also a good character with flaws that he
flaws
goes to overcome. Same like Izagi.
Exactly.
So there's an episode where they introduce a duo, like 2 characters that are best friends, and they play together like all the time, and one has got the other one into the whole game, and where one of them outgrows the other and kind of like ditches them. So
I thought that was like when I saw it was cold, but he said it, and that's my favorite character. I'm gonna say his name, Nagi, the one with the white hair.
That's your favorite character?
That's my favorite character.
Really?
And the reason why he's my favorite character because backstory, they show a backstory for him. He's like he's very like,
he's naturally gifted.
He is naturally gifted when it comes to the soccer. So his skills are just natural. This is just him in his natural state. But soccer was never in his radar. He was just more of a laid back dude that really didn't care. He just wanted to, be a back. He kind of looked like he wanted to just be a background character. Does that make sense? Because all he did was like play video games.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until his friend like introduced him and said like, hey, why don't you play soccer with me? And then that's when he figured out he had like a really natural act for soccer.
Right.
And eventually they made a duo. They ended up going to Blue Lock, and there's a part where Nagi had to make a choice, because now he's being introduced to people that are either part to his level, skill level wise, or even better than him, and definitely better than his friend.
Yeah.
Because it was like a partnership. They're both said like, we're both gonna make it. We're both gonna be.
And he's never
top.
lost about anything. And then he gets close, and then he gets really like not okay with it. He's like,
I don't ever want to lose.
Bro.
Yeah, I almost lost.
I don't ever want that to ever happen.
But then he starts analyzing like why did I almost lose? And then he starts noticing I do have a weak link, and that is my friend.
Or room for growth. Oh, that he just makes an opportunist decision on like, okay, well, I'm gonna go with the team that's best for me.
Yeah.
So I've kind of outgrew this guy, and I'm grateful that he got me into soccer. But
But he still looks at him like, because I love how they like walk away to like the next phase and then look back, and he's like, I hope to see you soon. And there was another character that I think Izaki was like, you're the hero to the story.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
But you might be talking about my favorite character. So my favorite character is Bakura.
Does he remind you of Bakugo? From My Hero Academia?
No.
Is he the one you're talking about?
He's the one with the yellow hair.
Yeah, and he's very like fiery, like he's always screaming at them, like, don't do that, or like, why you guys keep putting me on the defensive?
No,
like,
no, I know you're talking about. That's not the guy I'm talking about.
Oh, that's not the guy?
No, the guy.
Oh, okay.
The guy with he's the yellow eyes. He's got the yellow highlights in his hair. He's the guy with the dribble game. He's
the one with the dribble monster.
Yes.
He can just like dribble through people. That's who you're talking about. No.
That's my favorite character.
There's a character there that reminds me of Bakugo because he's always like screaming. He's always like
he's just a hothead.
Yeah, he's a hothead all the time.
Yeah.
And he hates when they put him on defensive, but he's good at what he does.
Yeah, he's good at pinning somebody down.
And the end of the game is like, we're not here for your defensiveness. We're here because you need to be a striker. Right. And he knows that. But then again, like soccer, everybody has a role and they have to play that role.
No, but so the way they make it seem, and they throw a lot of shade to soccer players in the beginning, saying like, oh, this is what Messi said. He said, fuck his teammates. It's all about me. This is what Pele said. Pele said, I'm a good soccer player, but the game revolves around me.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I played soccer, but not on a team like that. So I don't know if it's like that.
No, it is like that.
Where you have, because how you said like on, for football or basketball, you have like the quarterback or the shooting guard. But I don't know. Is there like this center around one person and then you have your supportive role, or is it like
team
thing?
Yeah, no. I think with soccer, it really depends. But this show they're trying to find a striker. So they want your ego to be boosted. They want you to feel like you're the main world and everybody else is surrounding you. Everybody else is a supporting character to your world. Yeah. To your gameplay. You know what I mean? And that's it. But like eventually, like everybody has to play a role because that's how just soccer is. Not everybody can be a striker. That's why there's different positions and different, different plays that people have to acquire to in order for them to succeed. Because if everybody just wants to grab the ball and try to make a goal, that's why you need the people who are defensive. You need the people who are on the left field, on the right field.
Yeah, you need to pass it or whatever.
You know what I mean? So you need people in the center. You need your goalie. Like, you imagine the goalie being like, man, fuck this shit. I'm going to try to make a goal. You know what I mean? He's not playing his role.
Right. All right.
Which then can like literally fuck up the people, the team's game.
So this guy that I like, he's the first one to befriend the main guy. He's super weird and eccentric. He's a great rival also / supporter. So he's a supporter for sure. Like as soon as they get into like where they're breaking into 3-man groups, he automatically assumes that he's going to be on his team. So he's the first one to actually talk about the monster that is inside all these characters.
So every character has a monster. In the sense of the monster is their ego, right? Their desire to be the best and make that goal and be the very top. Desire of like taking over. I am the best. This is what I do, kind of thing. So he does kind of show that whole monsters side effect of like the players. But when you say like he's a supporting character, I do feel like he does play a supporting character to Izagi, because I feel like he's low key. He knows he's a good player. He knows what he does is on par to what they need. Like he knows what he's doing is really good. Like he's a good player. And I feel like he knows that Izagi can also be a good player. He's seen in his eyes that desire, that animal, that monster inside of him. And he's like, okay, I see it in you, but I want to draw it out. Because in the end of the day, it kind of like his character kind of feels like he's looking for a friend.
Yeah.
And it kind of shows like his
friend for his monster.
Yeah. And it kind of shows him like as he develops that, and it shows his backstory that he's always been alone, that he's always had this great desire for soccer, but he has never met somebody that has the same desire as him to be the very best, to play all, because he's like constantly playing. Like there's like, he wakes up and he plays. He plays all day until it's time to go to sleep. Like that soccer is what he breathes and lives and drinks and eats. Like this is what he loves. So he needs to find somebody that's on the same level. So him being Blue Lock is like it should be like heaven for him. All these players with great techniques and great abilities, and they all love the passion of soccer.
I mean, that's what it's all about, bro. I like the way that they phrase it. So it's not like, this guy, he's on a team and he needs to beat these other teams or whatever and find teamwork or whatever. Yeah. It is just individual, but also using other people in a team to get your team up to the top, but also remain at the center of your team. So
it's like a balance.
Yeah, I want to talk about like favorite moments.
Go for it.
So the way they come back from games, I think that's like dope. That's the poppable goosebumps that we were talking about. So there's a game where they get betrayed by one of the characters. Mm-hmm. He does what you were talking about. How he's like, okay, I'm gonna score the points because if the team loses, then the guy who scored the most points on the team still gets to move on to blue lock.
Yeah,
while the team gets cut.
That's what I'm saying. He was trying to manipulate the system instead of...
He just like scores his goals and he's like, okay, now that I scored like my 2 or 3 goals, I'm just going to quit or give them the ball and then I'll still move on.
Yeah.
So without spoiling it, they come back from that episode and the way that they do that is just like so dope. That's when I really sat and I was like, okay, I really like this anime. This is like really like the anime for me. And it made me a big soccer fan. So my son plays soccer, but for middle school. But I just think, I don't know, like if I saw this anime when I was like his age, I think I would be a big
fired up to actually really put your work into soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so the guy running it, his name is Ego. He talks about he wants a striker who can turn 0 into 1. Mm-hmm. And I just love that. Like that whole idea because, I'm really big into numbers and things like that. But it's kind of vague and mysterious of what the hell he's talking about. But once you kind of like see what they're testing them on, you kind of understand what they're talking about. Turn 0 into 1, like create something out of nothing, like change like your environment to fit your suiting, to fit you, to fit your center.
Yeah.
So I just love that.
His ideology is like pretty dope. There's a one scene that I liked from Ego where he explains luck. I don't know if you got it to that episode yet.
I don't think so.
So probably spoilers alert to you. Mm-hmm. So there's a scene where Isagi finally goes against the number 1, and he is like trying to master and understand like how the number 1 plays and how he can incorporate the way he plays into how he plays so that he can win. The puzzle pieces, finding that missing puzzle piece to help him win the game. Mm-hmm. And he figures it out and he was about to win. And there was like this play that they did where Isagi passes it to, what was your favorite character again?
Bakura.
Bakura?
I think so.
Passes it to him and he is expecting him to pass it to number 1. But what ends up happening was that Bakuga got into like his ego and he decided that he was going to basically hit the ball for a goal or kick the ball for a goal. And when Isagi, he already knew that. So he already knew that he wasn't going to pass it. So he kind of like already had that step ahead. So he ended up blocking the shot and it went up to the air. But there was no way of knowing like where it was going to land at. But for some reason, it ended up landing to the number 1, and the number 1 was able to make the goal. And Isagi could not understand like how, like this is just pure luck. And Ego explains it, saying like it is luck, but you can make your luck even better. It's a number game.
You raise the chances.
You can raise your chances to your favor. And the way he did it was that number 1 analyzed the situation, and he knew that if he stood where he stood at, the chances of the probability of the ball landing closer to him was like 0 to none. Versus if he would have moved more closer, his chances of the ball kind of like hitting, getting to him were higher. So he just gave himself a better probability of the ball landing closer to him, even though it's still luck, because there's no way of figuring out like where the ball was going to land. Right. But he tries to explain like it's luck, but it's a number game, if that makes sense. And
that's what they do it on the field too. Like they give you a lot of good breakdowns and diagrams and things of how the position is. So you never really lose track of where everybody is.
No,
either.
You don't. And
so it's like there's no teleporting. There is no,
Yeah.
How did he do that? They give you good numbers, and if someone can't make that run, then they don't make it. You know?
Yeah, they don't make it. But it's just
they can't make a shot from
crazy
across the field.
how like it's not something that I think about ever. Like I'm like, oh, luck. Like you just think luck is like, oh, he's just lucky. But it's also like it's a number game. It's like
it's
you
a
know,
chance.
It's a chance.
If you have
but
more
it's still a number.
tickets in the hat, there's the more of a chance that they're going to pull your number. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, but still, like it's just crazy how that plays into soccer too, and how they use that analogy, and then Ego breaks it down to Isagi about like how he technically lost the ball. Like if he would have positioned himself into a better place, then he probably would have ended up with the ball. But again, it's still that percentage of it actually being luck, like that it would have.
Is that your favorite scene or
no? My favorite scene is when Isagi finally mans the fuck up and decides to basically take over the team because he was playing with King. King was in his team, and King has a huge ego.
He doesn't pass the ball
is
for
the
shit.
center. He's like, pass me the ball, I'll score.
Right.
Pass me the ball, I'll score.
And he's good though. He's good.
No, he's good. Like he's strong. He has a very powerful shot. He knows what he's doing, but because I guess that's the way, like his backstory is that he was always just seen as like, just pass it to him because he knows how to score. So then that ego kind of just formed from there. Like, just pass it to me. Pass it to me. He's that player. Like, it's always like, Joe, just pass it to me. I got this. Pass it to me. Pass it to me. And he's not really a team player because then he gets that ego up like, I'm the best. You know, I can shoot from anywhere or I can score from anywhere. That's him. And the way it's, but they were down because they weren't winning because he wasn't being a team player. But then again, it's like, you know, we're here to be strikers. We're here to be the best. I can't be a team player.
Right.
So he had to find a way to kind of use that ego of his to his advantage.
That's the episode that I'm on. Yeah, I just saw
and it was just so perfect how he ended up using the king, and he was like, "Who's the donkey now?
Yeah,
I am the king." And I was like, "Isagi!" I was like, the fucking dopest moment ever.
Yeah,
I'm like, finally, my ball manned up. His balls finally dropped, and he was like, "I am the king." The king was so pissed, bro. He was like, "You fucking used me! How dare you?"
Yes,
and he called him a donkey because the whole time King is always calling Isagi, and he finally got to say like, "You're the donkey."
Yeah, that is.
So I thought that was my favorite moment.
Yeah. So then for least favorite moments, so I don't really have any least favorite moments. I can see where, because you know, part of this podcast is trying to put people onto anime. Maybe people who do or don't watch anime. Definitely with this episode, we're both. I feel like we're both saying you should watch Blue Lock.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I put you on it. I told you to watch it.
You did.
You've been watching it.
Yeah, my homeboy's been watching it. I'm trying to get my homegirl into watching it. It's just like that. That's how it is with anime.
Yeah,
it's like you just food.
Get like like a good restaurant.
Yeah, you got to go.
You got to go, and you got to try this plate. Like it's really good.
Yeah,
kind of thing. No, but this anime is really good. It's worth watching. And I think you said like at the time that this anime came out, it was during
the World Cup.
The World Cup. Yeah. So. I think that would probably helped it like boost up a little bit more.
Yeah, but even now, just with no World Cup content.
But that's what I'm saying. But it got the boost. It got the little, to get out there. Yeah. But it is a good anime to begin with.
Right.
I don't know if it would still be like as good number wise if it didn't came out during the World Cup, if that makes sense. I'm not saying that it's a bad anime.
I don't even know the numbers. I just know that, because my friends watch anime. So that's just the anime. You watch anime. Oh. So yeah. I haven't heard a lot of people who don't watch anime talk about this one. So that's kind of like how I gauge it, like the people on the outside or people in the middle. So the something that I think that if you're trying to recommend this to somebody who likes soccer but doesn't know if they like anime or not, the only thing that I could see where they might have an issue with is after they break away from like the 5 or 6 man teams, they move to the smaller teams, and then they give each team a hologram goalie, AI goalie. So I can see where that is like a anime element that maybe somebody who's not initiated into anime might not be okay with. They might be like, okay, well,
But some of the moves too, like some of the plays that they do, I've seen it a lot on TikTok, like actual soccer players trying to recreate those moves.
Oh, really? Okay.
And just because of that, like it's an anime, so sometimes you feel like, oh, these moves are like that. You can't do that in real life.
The moves are good.
But all the moves are realistic. Right, that's what I'm trying to say. Like none of these moves that they do are like, oh, that's not something that can ever be done in the real world. But that's why, like when I watch like TikTok or like YouTube Reels or whatever, they show like actual soccer players like trying to recreate the same shot or the same dribble or the same, play, and they do it, and they're like, no, this is like, you know what I mean? Like, this is something that we can do in reality. It's not something that you just made up, or like, oh, the guy kicked it like 200 miles per hour,
right,
kind of thing. You know what I mean?
No, a lot of this is like based in reality. That's the only other worldly element that I think that maybe somebody might have an
like the AI,
hologram robot goalie. Because if you shoot against that, that's not another character, and none of these characters really have plot armor. Like, anybody can go.
Anybody,
So
anybody, especially the one I was saying, that character that I remember when Isaki passed on to the next phase, the character fell behind,
right,
and he was like, "Oh, you're the hero to this story," or something like that. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, you're the main character. You're
the main character or whatever. And then when they make it all the way towards the end, spoiler alert, he doesn't make it.
Oh, what the fuck?
I just said it, bro.
I heard you just say it.
Yeah, but I don't even know his name. You probably won't know who the hero is, because I think that's the only time he actually mentions it, was when they like pull away from each other. And then you'll probably know what I'm talking about. But it's that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's funny that way. And you do feel like everybody could be the main character of their own story. I mean, they are the main characters of their own story. Yeah,
because they do follow them, after, like, especially with the additional time at the end, which that always like threw me off with soccer. Like, how do they know when to give additional time? Like, it's not even tie. Like, if it's tied by the time the quarter ends, I understand overtime. But if it's 3-2, how do you know to give additional time? Like,
I think it's like a number thing. It's like a penalty, or like if they penalize or they take a little small break. Because you know how some, like, if a player gets hurt and how they get so exaggerated and they try to eat up time by like laying on the ground and like, blah, blah, blah. And they kind of pause the game, but the time is still running.
They keep track of that?
I think they keep track of that. Okay. So then they just add it like, oh, well, you wasted like, I don't know, 30 seconds. Just,
or a couple minutes or whatever.
Over dramatic.
Yeah.
We're just going to add that.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. I think that's how it works. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. I'm not like, I like soccer, but
he's not a referee.
I don't know I'm not a referee. I don't know all the rules and like the rule book.
And and what I wanted to also add, brings to that. So you don't have to be a big soccer fan to like this anime Blue Lock. I wasn't the best or the greatest soccer fan. Like, I like it visually. But even when I watch it online or watch it like a game, if it's not as like close as like a basketball game to me, like the field itself, they have to clear the distance, and it's one-sided. Like, sometimes a game will end 0-0 or 0-1. Not all these games end in like high number scores or score numbers, number scores. But also on the other side, I think if you are a big soccer fan and you're uninitiated into anime, or you have a friend of yours that likes soccer, I think they are going to like this. Or even if someone who just is into drama, because there's a lot of drama in this anime. So that's our recommendation for Blue Lock. Before we go on to the next segment, video games and movies. So right now we'll just start with movies. There is no movies for Blue Lock yet. They did announce that they are gonna do one, and it's gonna be off of your favorite character. It's called Episode Nagi.
So I want to point this out. Nagi has white hair, and I think somebody had pointed out that almost every good character or overpowered character has gray hair or white hair. Kakashi, Jiraiya. Who else? Oh, the main character, one of the characters, the overpowered character from Jujutsu Kaisen.
Okay,
I forgot his name.
Is it the other Kakashi looking character?
Yeah. Hunter x Hunter.
Killua. Yeah.
White hair.
So that's, with anime, it's all colors.
That's how you know. That's how you know it's gonna be a fucking great character.
Yeah.
Just they have white hair. He's gonna be like the coolest, dopest, overpowered character.
Right. So so they're gonna give they have a manga out. That's the spin-off manga called Episode Nagi. Mm-hmm. So they're gonna do a movie off of that spin-off manga.
Dope.
They say they're going to give a fresh perspective on Nagi. They give you some of his backstory in the season, but this one's going to be more focused,
more detailed.
Yeah, about like his come up and his story with the purple haired guy.
Yeah.
So that's the movie that they're going to do. And then as far as video games, also no video games, but there's FIFA. An anime video game that you might like. So this anime, Blue Lock, It is also part of Bandai Namco Filmworks. So I don't know if you saw this when you were watching it like on Crunchyroll, but at the beginning and end of every episode, they go Bandai Namco Filmworks. So Bandai Namco is
In game.
it's a video game company. They they made what is it, Tekken, and then Bandai. They just are in charge of all of those anime video games. Jump Force, Fighter Z, Soul Calibur, Ninja Storm, all the Ninja Storm games. So Bandai Namco bought Sunrise. So Sunrise is another, film company. And they just combined it. So now it's Bandai Namco Filmworks. So we talked about God Eater. That is a Bandai Namco game that they made into a anime.
Yeah.
That shares an animation house with Demon Slayer. So, and the way that this anime is, it is kind of like a video game in where it's really like, about numbers and moving players and things like that. So they have a video game. It's called Captain Tsubasa Rise of New Champions. So it's a game that they have on the PS4, the Switch, and the PC. And it's a little bit more bombastic than FIFA. So, you have like Mario Strikers or whatever, but it's more in the line of that than like with FIFA. FIFA's like Gran Turismo, and this one, Captain Tsubasa, is kind of like Midnight Club or Need for Speed. So I did check it out. It does look pretty cool, but Blue Lock right now doesn't have many anime video games and movies. Just manga. They are making a movie, no video games. So
That we know of.
no video games. Yeah, in development that we know of. Yeah, somebody might be making an independent video game right now.
Yeah. All right, man. So to wrap it up, Blue Lock, the shit. Watch it. Recommended by both of us. So anything else you want to add up before we move on to the next part?
Nope, just that.
Right?
So the next segment of the show is what you're reading, what you're watching, what you're playing. So Lewis, what you're reading, what you're watching, what you're playing.
Again to reading, man. I have not picked up any books.
In many episodes, you have picked up a book.
I mean, some episodes I picked up a book.
Oh, you
man.
brought over Kaiju.
Yeah, but I've been read that. That's just
Oh, you
been
did?
there, yeah.
Oh, you only brought it over today?
I just brought it over today just to put in the collection.
Okay.
So I'm gonna keep on reading. I'm reading, playing.
I'm gonna keep asking you, bro.
That's straight. That's straight. I mean, maybe next episode I might be starting something. I don't know.
Okay.
Playing. I haven't been playing much games. I kind of take a look, a back seat on the games. I know I've been wanting to pick up the Star Wars game, the new one that came out.
Yeah, I heard good things about it from my homeboy.
I've been wanting to pick that one up, but I think I'm gonna hold off. I think one thing I want to talk about is, we have future plans when it comes to video games. And I think that's why I'm trying to hold off on just playing video games, because me and you are trying to work on getting this set up, and, it takes a little bit of time, it takes a little bit of money. So if I'm going to spend, $70 on a new game,
I know.
I'd rather hold that $70 to add to the podcast, because technically that's the next step for us. And we want to get into the gaming part of it.
Yeah.
I know we talked about this in the very beginning of our episodes, and, we talked about a lot of things that we want to do for the podcast, but it just takes time. It takes money and it takes resources. And right now we don't have all the resources, but we're trying to get there.
Right. But we are working towards it. We are making steps. It's not like we're standing still.
Yeah.
We have been making small steps.
But like right now, our main focus is definitely the podcast, next to the YouTube. So that's why the YouTube videos take a little bit longer than the podcast. Like right now, we might record this today, 2 days later, it might be out already, because we focus on that first. Podcast right now is number one in our list. Right. YouTube comes second. So that's why it takes a little bit longer for us to get the YouTube videos out. But we do have other stuff that we did promise we want to do, like the twitching, and we do have like the anime clothing. I know that we are a little behind. Like we have ideas for more future shirts and hats and hoodies and so on and so on. But it just takes time, and we don't have that time right now. We don't have the resources to act on it, just because we're juggling so many things at the same time. But now
we're staying steady though. I mean,
we're staying steady, so, but definitely check out our stuff, our merch. And when you guys buy something, it really helps out. It helps get this channel keep on going, and helps us fund like future things and more things that we want to get done. But yeah, so with the gaming, not so much. And then watching, on my downtime, I've been keeping up with House Paradise. I had mentioned this on IG. If you guys liked the episode, I know it was delayed a week because of some things that came up, so it was delayed an episode. But I'm looking forward to this next week that the new episode comes out again.
Okay.
So if you guys haven't watched that, it's a definitely good watch. I've been wanting to read the books, so maybe that might be something I'll pick up. But I also been wanting to read Blue Lock because I know they're ahead and I really want to jump into that. Yeah. So, between that and, just keeping up with other animes too, nothing crazy. Definitely Demon Slayer, been on that. The new season 3, it's been pretty good. Animation has been pretty good. I don't know if you guys seen the latest episode of One Piece, the battle between, was this King versus... Who's the swordsman called again? Zoro. King versus Zoro. I heard. I didn't see it. I haven't yet, but I've seen like videos of it, and it looks epic. That fight and the way they animated it, and the way they're saying that when they present Luffy with his new gear,
they're bringing like a cartoon studio in to do it.
Warner Brothers.
Yeah,
into doing it. Yeah, so. For sure. So that's pretty much it, man. How about you, bro? What have you been reading, watching, playing?
So, I definitely want to read, watch, and play different things in between. But so, in the meantime, I've been reading the same Lost Mines of Phandelver for the D&D campaign that we're doing. So we're still only one session in. Had to get postponed. We had a friend who went out of town, and a friend whose family came into town, so we just had to postpone it. So in like maybe 2 weeks, we'll get back on it. So it gave me, some time to read more of this campaign. So I've just been reading that, as well as like the Dr. Stone Chainsaw and all the other stuff. One Piece. So I've been playing For Honor and God of War. I kind of just jumped back into For Honor. I don't know why. I was just like on the PlayStation, just going through my library of games. And I was like, wow, I really like that game. So it's still going. Like you can still play online, and the skills kind of came back for me, but there's been so many new things that I'm just like trying to get back into it. But it's just something cool to jump on every now and then. And God of War as well. And then as far as watching for family movie night, we've been watching Planet of the Apes. So the Planet of the Apes movies. We're like 2 movies in. We don't have one more to go. We might go into like the older ones where there actually is a Planet of the Apes. But I don't know. I just saw like this show Chimp Empire on Netflix. It's like a documentary drama style of like these chimps in like the middle of Africa, and how they have like battles with like other chimp societies. It's just really fun. I love monkeys, so I was just like, all right, let's do Planet of the Apes because those movies are good, man.
Yeah, they are. I love it. Caesar, come on, man.
Yeah, so I've just been watching that. And as well as Blue Lock for this episode.
That's what's up, bro.
So I'm afraid to finish Blue Lock.
Don't be afraid, bro. There's another season coming.
I know. But so far. So I've been watching Blue Lock and this anime called Banana Fish. So I've been watching.
What
watching them back and
platform
forth.
You said it was on? I was trying to watch it the other day, but I couldn't find it. You said it was Amazon?
Amazon, yeah.
I couldn't find it.
It's on Amazon. It's not on Crunchyroll. And I was like, why isn't it on Crunchyroll? And then once you watch like the first couple episodes, you'll know exactly why it's not on Crunchyroll.
Well, I gotta watch it. Like you said, when you said it last episode, I was definitely on. I was like, let me watch it on my drive.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's like Gangsta or I said this in the last episode. It's not Tokyo Revengers, but it's just like like some heavy stuff, man.
Yeah,
like some gang, guns, and drugs.
No, for real. All right, man. Anything else?
No, that's it. That's it.
All right, let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up here, man. I got things to do. All right. So thank you so much for definitely coming back and listening to our podcast. Definitely rewatch and re-listen to our old ones. Every episode it gets better and better and better.
It does.
We get crispier, we get more confident, we get more egoistic.
This is the Blue Lock. The Blue Lock of podcasts.
Yes, right? So but besides that, definitely follow us. We're on every platform. We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on TikTok, we're on Facebook, so definitely follow us there. We have our own website. It's called thenorm.com. If you guys haven't heard it yet, I'll spell it out for you. ThenormMNN.com. Yeah. Okay.
One N.
Yeah. Sorry. I don't know why I said two ends. So definitely go to our website. That's where you can find our merch. And like I said, like anything you guys buy, it's well appreciated and it helps the podcast, you know, if that's a way of contributing for us. Also check out the YouTube video. You know, we put a lot of time and effort into these videos and we try to make it better every episode, or like every edit we do, you know, add more things to it, make it pop, make it more like grab you guys' attention and stuff like that. Leave comments and also, you know, review our stuff. Like we said, we want that complimentary sandwich where it's a positive with a negative in the middle and a positive at the end. Always 5 stars, because we're trying to be the #1 anime podcast in the world. We're taking over. My egoistic is coming out again.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, and that's pretty much it. And like we say at the end of every episode,
Tune in next time for scenes from the next episode of the Hyperbolic Podcast, where Lewis and X jump back in time and revisit the early Toonami lineup.
that's what's up. Thank you guys. And please keep watching, keep subscribing, keep liking. You're the best. Thank you, normies. Bye, 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 bye.